is the first monument to not only be re-erected in the same city from which it was originally removed, but to be put in a better location.
Lee's importance, everybody recognized at the beginning of the war. And we have this very famous moment in time when Lincoln will offer command of the United States Army's gathering around Washington in defense of Washington to Robert E. Lee. This, of course, is done before Virginia has actually seceded from the Union. And it does not take too much time for Lee to distinguish himself during the Civil War. He is, really the most important operational general officer that we've seen in our history. His victories are numerous. His audacity on the battlefield, legendary. But it's also important to recognize that Lee, the man, is still very worthy of study.
I'm Jim Lechner in Charleston, South Carolina for Newsmax.
We'll be right back, folks.
He tells it like it is, with decades covering Washington and the really big stories. Ed Henry cuts through the noise and gives you the facts you need to know. Watch Ed on The Briefing tonight on Newsmax 2. Federal agencies urge every family to have an emergency radio. During any disaster, electrical power may get cut. The emergency radio gives you the vital information you need. Newsmax wants you to have the Dynamo Emergency Band Radio. It doesn't need batteries and works in any emergencies. It retails for $30. You can get it with the free offer. Call or go online and get the emergency radio today. Your life may depend on it.
Hi folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Have you ever considered getting a walk-in tub? Well, look no further. SafeStep's best offer just got better. Now, when you purchase your brand new SafeStep walk-in tub, you'll receive a free shower package. Yes, a free shower package. And if you call today, you'll also receive $1,500 off your entire order. Now you can enjoy the best of both worlds with the therapeutic benefits of a warm, soothing bath that can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and even improve sleep. Or, if you prefer, you can take a refreshing shower, all in one product. Call now to receive a free shower package plus $1,500 off your brand new SafeStep walk-in tub.
Call now. 1-800-443-7474. There's never been a better time. That's 1-800-443-7474.
Does the state of this economy have your head spinning? Let American Medical Plans relieve one burden, health insurance. American Medical Plans specializes in under 65 health insurance plans that have zero copays and no deductibles. You choose your doctors and hospitals. These plans have nothing to do with your income and are 30 to 60% less than Obamacare. If you're paying too much for your own health insurance, call American Medical Plans. You deserve better. They will customize a plan managed by you, not the government.
Are you done with your holiday shopping?
Yes, I am done. I finished it. Finally. It took a long time.
Yeah, I finished this past weekend too.
Yeah.
The last person I had to actually take care of.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good job.
Which is me. No, but seriously, I mean, people, some people.
Would you like to know your faith better? Then join me for the John Ankerberg Show weekdays at 4 o'clock right here on the Dove TV. It'll be encouraging and informative.
You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning, and happy Monday to you. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where Jerry's getting ready to wear his little red suit.
Wait a minute, which one?
a little red suit, you know.
That's pretty good.
The one you wear on the outside.
That's funny.
Anyway, good morning to you. Just a little bit of heads up. Yes, there's a power outage in Southern Oregon. It's affecting roughly 1,400 customers, and it happens to be one of our tower sites.
Oh, gosh.
So we got a little bit of a problem this morning. They're working on it, so be patient. We'll get it straightened out. Well, not much we can do until they restore power, and they're saying it could be almost any moment now, so we're working on that. Anyway, happy Monday. Here we are, officially in the Christmas week. Did you notice coming in this morning there was nobody out there?
Nobody out there, but there's plenty of fog.
A lot of fog, but man, normally, you know, there's people on the streets and they're going to work and all of that. They're gone.
Yes.
This week is like, check out.
I know.
You know, I was able to get through the kiosk in one car stop. Which is kind of interesting. It's normally 10.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Monday. A lot going on in the news. There always is. And let's see, what do you got?
Well, first of all, we only have one thing to eat today. It is National Date Nut Bread Day.
Date nut bread.
Yeah, people putting dates together, nuts together, and making a bread with it. And obviously, this kind of a dish or a bread goes back thousands of years to the Middle East, especially because of dates. And, you know, when dates are very ripe, they got a lot of sugar in them, so they're a good sweetener. But it's all natural, right? It's better if it's natural.
Okay, that's what we'll go with natural.
No sugar or anything like that. But you know, if you have date nut bread today, enjoy it.
Well, in our
That's all
family,
I got.
in Peggy's family, there is what they call the date bar cookie. It goes back several generations.
Okay.
And Peggy is like top drawer in making it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And,
naturally.
They're gone before they're finished.
Okay. Yeah.
They're very popular.
All right. Well.
All right. Hey, I have something for you.
Go ahead.
Let's have a little coffee. The first one is
what?
Coffee, because I wouldn't last a day in prison.
Where did this come from?
Okay, here's another one. Procrastinating. The tendency of not to start anything until you had a cup of coffee.
Okay. Procrastinating.
How about that?
Did that make the Funkin' Wagnalls this year?
It will, yes.
I hope so.
And then this guy in the coffee shop, sitting at the table, not on his phone, not on his laptop, just drinking coffee, like a psychopath.
Where did you get these?
Okay, this is from Barb, and here's the other one. If I'm going to be dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, I'm going to need coffee with a lid. There you go.
I love it.
What do you think?
That's very good.
All right, let's check out the weather with a guy that always has a lid on.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With another front moving over the top of our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 48 in McMinnville. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 49 or 50 for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with a south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. In central Oregon, mostly sunny with a high in the upper 40s in Prineville, a chance of snow, then partly to mostly sunny in low 40s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rainy and patchy fog with a high near 51. Rainy and breezy along the Oregon coast with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and near 55 in Port Orford with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. In Brookings, a high of 51 and near 53 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, a chance of rain in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 40s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, a slight chance of rain and snow, then partly sunny in mid-40s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in mid-40s for Wairika. Showers with a flood watch for Redding with a high near 52, Chico near 56, and Sacramento near 57, with more rain expected through the week. Rain with patchy dense fog across the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, upper 50s in San Francisco with a light west wind, and a high near 60 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, there's a snapshot of our valley. Now, a few moments ago, you could see the lights, and you could also see where the power outage is. Now it's covered with fog. So we have some fog over the top of us this morning. Kind of comes and goes. We'll see how it ends up. It's quite mild out there this morning. We have 40 outside the studios. I'm hoping that, there was a time yesterday it was cold.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And but I haven't seen an official picture of what happened at Mount Ashland. Yesterday afternoon, I checked on Mount Ashland. It was 46 degrees up there, and I go, ooh, that's not good.
No, that's bad news.
Yeah, so we'll have a picture here as soon as it lightens up a little bit out there. Anyway, good morning to you.
Speaking of power outage, what's going on? Do you know?
Well, I have it here. It's they're working on. They said power should be restored any minute. It's between Phoenix and Medford, and literally takes in our tower.
Oh, of course, yeah. So what are we on right now?
We're on streaming, we're on cable, we're on everything but broadcast.
Okay. Okay. No OTA.
So we're okay, but
all right.
Except for you folks who want broadcast.
We're semi-okay. Yeah.
But here's what it is. Actually, our TV is on, but we feed it from our AM tower.
Mm-hmm.
And so the AM tower's out, so that means the radio's out and sending the signal to the hill where the TV is. So it's all linked together.
And speaking of out,
excuse me,
bless you there. Did you see what happened in San Francisco yesterday? They had power outage.
Oh yeah.
And all the red lights went dead, and all of the autonomous taxis all stopped dead in their tracks. They didn't move.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't know what to do.
Well, San Francisco.
What need to be said more than that?
But seriously, how vulnerable is our grid?
Oh, that is a huge question. Yes.
I mean, are these like birth pains?
Oh, yeah. And we have more power needs coming our way with the birth of AI and all the data centers and stuff. We need more electricity.
And I really think I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to go back to nuclear power. And the problem with that is you're going to have every group out there opposing that.
Right.
But how else are you going to do all that?
Well, and also, too, we don't know exactly the state of technology these days because everything has increased technology-wise, including nuclear power. We don't. They were talking, the last article I read, they were talking about these smaller, more compact units.
Yeah.
So there's a change in that technology as well, but we don't really know what it is yet.
So remember when they were trying to promote these home nuclear plants?
A home? No, I don't really.
Yeah, they had a little thing, and you could have your own little nuclear reactor, Can you imagine your house going to go? I don't recommend it.
Jerry, do you have too much coffee this morning? No, I slept next to the reactor.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so much for all that.
Okay, what does this term whosoever mean to us? The
great controversy of the Bible.
Oh, goodness. Well, here's Anne Graham Lotz, and she points to Jesus, his most inclusive invitation addressed to whosoever.
Only time I've ever been on Meet the Press. I was sitting there, and the guy sitting next to me was a pastor. He had a huge leadership position in Washington. And he said, so Ann, what do you do with a verse like John 14:6, when Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me. And I looked at him and I said, you believe it? He did not. And he was a pastor. Jesus said that. So the path that he's laid out for you and me to follow is going to lead us to our heavenly home. He said so. He is the way. He is the truth. He is the life. God so loved the whole world. Yes, he does. Everybody, all those categories that I just mentioned, God loves them. God loves you. God loves you. God loves you. God so loved you that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him, that's the most inclusive invitation, isn't it? Whosoever believes in him would not perish. You're not going to go to hell. You won't be separated from God. But you'll have everlasting life. And eternal life is a personal, right relationship with God right here and now, and it's heaven when you die.
Mm. Now, I have, look, the whosoever thing is a stumbling block for some theologians. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing about that, I have watched some of the great debates over the whosoever.
Okay.
There is no other interpretation in the Greek for whosoever other than whosoever.
Thank you. All right. Yeah.
Whosoever is anybody.
Yeah. Right.
And so it is a stumbling block.
Yeah.
And that John 14:16 is the stumbling block for all people concerning going to heaven. When Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And then the other one, no one. You got whosoever and no one.
Okay.
Whosoever in John 3:16.
Right.
No one in John 14:16. And no one goes to heaven but through the Father. Comes to me through the Father.
Yeah.
Get to heaven. I thought,
Hey, we know what those
everybody's
words...
invited.
Right. There you go. Right.
But there's only one way. Anyway.
All right. Hey, that's a good interpretation.
Well, I don't know. It's just, it's having coffee and not going to prison. All right, let's take a look at some of the for a Monday morning, Christmas week. Nobody on the roads out there.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Everybody's sleeping.
That's right.
All right. Well, this is an interesting story. Israel tells the U.S. Iran missile could be a cover-up for a surprise attack. Iran is now beginning to do missile drills. Are we going to regret we didn't finish the job?
Oh, great question. Oh, yeah.
What more does it take for people to understand that the Islamic faith, especially the radical Islamic faith, is to kill people, innocent people? Let's start with Israel and then move our way over to the United States. Anyway, the Iran Revolutionary Guard missile exercise could be a cover-up for a surprise attack on Israel. So we may have wiped out their nukes, but did we take out all the missiles? And here's the other question, ladies and gentlemen. Where are they getting them from? When ships are still going to Iran from China and Russia. So anyway, it's the great mystery why we didn't finish it. This is where President Trump's getting some criticism because he likes making deals. But I don't think he understands the nature of the people he's trying to make a deal with. So we'll see where this goes. DOJ restores, over the weekend, Friday afternoon, they started releasing the Epstein files. Just thousands upon thousands upon thousands of emails and pictures and everything's coming out. And the first thing that comes up is that there's a cover-up and Trump, and there's redacting things and all this and that. Well, there was one picture that was very controversial that did have President Trump in it, but they wanted to make sure that the other people in it weren't the victims.
They knew that this was a Democrat ploy.
Yeah, I think he is trolling these guys.
Right. Well, because none of them were victims in there, and so they had to. They put blackout on the face to imply that the president was with a whole bunch of these young victims.
Yeah.
They just smeared, and they knew that none of them were. They did it on purpose.
So. Anyway, they're trolling now there's one picture, or let me put it this way, one person that's popping up in most of the pictures.
Well, and in fact, it's changing the name of the files. I'm hearing these being referred to as the Clinton files.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
All over the place.
Prince Andrew is all over the place.
Yes.
You have John Roberts, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Bill Gates. I mean, this is a pretty embarrassing list.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're slowly coming out, and the left is trying hard to attach something to the president. But the more that's released, the more it's embarrassing other people.
Yes.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. All right. The other thing is, we've talked about it, in fact, just recently in our headlines this morning, and that is what's happening to Europe. Is Europe slowly slipping and being taken over? And Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, says, hey, wait a minute, some of the shared cultural issues that we have with Western civilization is being destroyed in Europe, and these guys don't seem to be waking up and understanding what's going on. And here's what the Secretary of State had to say.
And what we've tried to point to is very simple. That is at the bedrock and at the cornerstone of our relationship, for example, with Europe, is the fact that we do have a shared culture, a shared civilization, a shared experience, and shared values and principles on things like human rights, on freedom, on liberty, on democracy, on all sorts of on the rights of the individual, on all these sorts of things that we in this nation are the inheritors of in many cases, because many of these ideas that led to the founding of our country found their genesis in some of these places in the Western Alliance. If you take that away, if that's wiped out because for whatever reason it's no longer a priority, I do think it puts a strain and threatens the alliance in the long term and in the big picture. Now, whatever internal politics causes people to dispute this, I'm not going to comment on, other than to tell you that I do think that at the core of these special relationships we have is the fact that we have shared history, shared values, shared civilizational principles that we should be unapologetic about. This is a nation that was founded on Western principles, like liberty, the value of and the right of the individual, the right of self-governance. These are all Western values. Now, others may have adopted it in different parts of the world, but they emanate from Western history. And it's something that we should be unapologetic about. Why would we be apologetic about it? Anyone who doesn't recognize, for example, that many of the features of our system of government find their root in Roman and Greek history is a fool. Is a fool. It's just not true. And so I think that we need to understand and embrace that, not negate it. And I think that's what we're pointing to here, is that we are concerned that particularly in parts of Western Europe, those things that underpin our alliance and our tie to them could be under threat in the long term. And by the way, there are leaders in those countries that recognize that as well. Some say it openly, some say it privately. In the eastern and southern part of Europe, they're much more open about it. Nonetheless, it is a factor that needs to be addressed.
Wow.
It does. The part of it is that I don't know if, what's his name, the conservative in the UK will end up becoming Prime Minister.
Raj.
Yeah. But the only thing I can say is that, look, for some reason in the UK, they've allowed dual systems of government. You cannot have communities that are under Sharia law that are in complete contrast to parliamentary law, and they're letting them to coexist. That in itself is just a seedbed for.
You know what? Let me ask you this: is part of the problem what's going on in Minnesota? You have this Somali group that has defrauded the U.S. government, and the media outlets, especially the big media outlets in Minneapolis, were afraid to call them out on it because they were afraid of being called racist. Mm-hmm. I think that is the undermining problem that's going on in Europe as well as going on with the problem in everybody's afraid.
Good point. Because they deal with minority sections of the culture, the race card is immediately thrown on the table.
Immediately, yes.
All right, let's just stop and say, all right, the law is the law and fraud is fraud, no matter who commits it. We can't seem to get past that. Mm-hmm. But in this case, you're looking at a state now that I don't know if the government will sue the state to recoup some of the money that was used, but we're no longer talking a billion.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple billions.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a chain of complicity of high leaders in the state, including the governor.
Yes.
It's kind of like he knew everything and he was just signing off on it.
I'm telling you, people are they're afraid of being called racist. It is.
What is it? Power corrupts.
And
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
When you end up becoming, a senator or a governor or a president or whatever, sooner or later you go from reality into a bubble.
Right.
And few can manage it.
You know where you see that emerge once in a while is when public officials get pulled over for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And the trooper comes up and they say, "Do you know who I am?" I love that first question. Yeah. Do you know who I am? It's like, dude, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You were going 75 and a 50.
Yeah, you just broke the law. You're a lawbreaker. That's who you are.
You know who I am.
Yeah.
I was like, who cares who you are?
Yeah, I don't care, you broke the law. Well, and then they get upset about it if they get the ticket.
Yeah, 100%.
So what you're saying is you're above the law.
Right.
Yeah, anyway. Well, anyway, pray for Europe. I hope there's an awakening. You know what? I truly believe, set that aside. That's the politics.
Okay.
Go to the other side. There is a spiritual movement regaining in Europe. Mm-hmm. Now, you got to remember, our Christianity came from Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing of it is that it got pushed down. BBC existed to propagate the gospel. And it's now anywhere even close from that. But the point being is that has sparked an underground revival. There's some great movements. There's some great things happening in Europe spiritually. And so I think, you don't mock God.
Right.
And you don't get him angry, and you don't violate his principles. His principles aren't for believers. His principles are for humanity. So think about that. All right, so much for that. We'll take a, what do we have to,
date nut bread.
Date nut bread.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, warm with a little butter slathered on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, butter.
Yeah.
More butter.
Okay.
Or more butter. We're going to take a butter break. We'll be right back.
Out here, Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate what truly matters: love, community, and the magic of being together. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Grange Co-op.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Watch the 700 Club every weekday. We bring you compelling interviews with the information you need for better health, stronger finances, and a more abundant life. Every day you'll hear inspiring stories from right here at home and across the globe. We cover the issues that matter most to you and your family. For thoughtful analysis and insight into the news of the day from a biblical perspective.
Watch the 700 Club Monday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Here we go.
Here we go. Happy Monday. Well, listen, we've had quite the weather system over the top of the Pacific Northwest.
yeah.
This atmospheric river has redefined atmospheric rivers.
Yeah.
And the mild temperatures, all level 3, which is go, evacuation notices have been lifted now as of Sunday for residents living in and around south end of what they call the East Salmon River and the East Welch Road area in Clackamas County, where they had some terrific mudslides and people kind of got on the other. Look at this one.
Look at that, yeah.
That mudslide just went right across the road. I mean, so, and it's still very wet out there, and the creeks and the rivers and everything are high. Anyway, and more rain on the way.
I hope nobody's underneath that thing.
Yeah, look at that.
That thing was wicked.
When that moves, there's nothing you can do.
Oh, not a thing.
You got to remember that water is around 8 pounds a gallon.
Yeah.
And when it moves, it's a force to be reckoned with.
Boy.
So level 2 beset, Applegate, Terrence, and Oregon, and the west of the, the other areas up there that have it. So if they give you a level 3, you're out of there. Level 1 and 2 is like get ready, but the problem is they can stop raining, but the waters keep rising.
Yeah, right.
And there's some of the creeks and the rivers. So the Pacific Northwest, especially up the north end of the state and the southwestern part of Washington, pretty bad. Pretty bad. So we'll keep you posted. Here's a great story. Remember the other day we had Lee Strobel in our area. Lee Strobel was a investigative journalist. He happened to be an attorney, but he ended up doing an investigating a journalist for a newspaper, and he wanted to prove that there was no God. And today he's now one of the most renowned apologists in the world.
Yeah.
And he wrote the book, The Case for Christ. And he was here in the area. We had him. Well, New York's best-selling author, Lee Strobel, shared that Hobby Lobby has purchased 500,000 copies of his book called The Case for Christmas to give away at their stores.
What? Whoa.
So Hobby Lobby bought 500,000 copies of his Case for Christmas to give away in their stores.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone into a Hobby Lobby?
I have been in one time, yes.
Well, this time of year, there's Christmas music.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the time, there's hymns.
Okay.
It's a calming place.
Oh, nice.
You can just go in there and kind of, sit in one of their chairs and chill, baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, they bought $500,000 of 500 copies of their Case for Christmas.
That's amazing.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the satellite image for you this morning. Here's what's going on.
And what do we got?
Well, according to our make-believe meteorologist, we still have some weather, but today may be a weather relief day.
Yeah, I think you're right. A high of about 50. But tomorrow, a little more.
Coming back, huh?
Coming back, and we're going to see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but the weekend looks pretty good. The only thing is temperature-wise, we need some cooler temperatures so we get some snow up in the upper elevations. Yeah. We're getting all the moisture we need, and then some, but we need some cold weather. Well, what do you think of energy prices these days? How are you doing at the gas pump when you're filling up?
I read something last night.
Yeah, I'm reading things too that don't align up with life on the left coast.
Well, the left coast is in trouble.
Yes.
They're closing refineries in California.
That's a huge problem.
They're going to close a refinery in the Portland area.
Yep.
And that means that fuel that comes to the West Coast is unrefined.
Right.
Where does it go before it gets refined and then put back towards us?
Yeah.
And we want to add 6 cents to the gallon of gas in the state of Oregon.
Yeah, and plus, you see the refineries leaving California, and the governor is pretty pleased with it. He's like saying, "See you later."
Yeah, well, I think he's going to be seeing it later.
That could,
I don't.
You're right.
I hope he runs.
Yeah.
And I hope he talks the way he's talking right now. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And so let him run and just let him go out there. He's Slick Willie 2.0.
Okay.
And then I think the guy from Virginia, the governor, what's his name?
From Virginia?
Is it Virginia?
Youngkin?
No, don't think of his name. Sorry.
Okay. That's all right.
Anyway, he may be the contender.
Okay.
But anyway, the point being is California.
How about the guy up in was it Pennsylvania, Shapiro?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Did I say Virginia?
Yeah, that's okay.
Shapiro. He's
Shapiro.
the one.
I think we're tracking.
Okay, I think he's the one that will probably tell.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he's left, but he's sensible.
Right, he's more sensible than the rest.
And California is in such bad shape that if he was to run for governor, I'm surprised they haven't impeached him.
Oh.
That's how much he's now being hated in California.
I know, but it is so blue there that there's no chance of impeaching him because they're not going to shoot their own and embarrass themselves in this. So, but anyway, back to the energy prices. U.S. Secretary Doug Burgum discusses the White House's plans for bringing relief to energy prices, and he did this on Maria Bartiromo's Wall Street.
Well, President Trump has been bringing relief with the policies of this last year. Of course, he talked often about drill, baby, drill, but that was really his way of signaling, hey, we're gonna unleash American energy. We're going to do that in a way where we increase supply. We're going to do that brings prosperity to home, and we're going to bring peace abroad. And of course, the U.S. a year ago, we had bans on LNG exports. Now, under President Trump, the United States' largest LNG exporter, knocking Russia out of the European market. This is great for American jobs, and it's actually great for American infrastructure because when we got international customers buying our fuels, that helps pay for the infrastructure here to be able to deliver it more cheaply for Americans. So fantastic on all the natural gas, the liquid fuels. All that is fantastic. Electricity is a different story because that's a red state, blue state story because electricity has really been at the centerpiece of the ideological ideological divide where we've got the Democrat Party was going down a path of intermittent, unreliable, unsecure energy, highly subsidized through Biden policies. And President Trump is all about affordable, about reliable, and about secure sources of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess what bugs me about this, we're gonna.
Oh.
Now, this is one issue to me, and I realize the president's made a lot of progress in the year that he's been in office. But this one issue to me is like, why haven't you done it? And yes, gas prices have come down, especially in the east, in the southwest, but here on the west coast. And the problem with California, Oregon, and Washington is our states add these taxes.
Right.
We have the highest gas tax in the country in these three states. So it's a state issue.
Yeah.
But you would think that if we really were releasing all of our energy capacity, that overall costs would be coming down, because the cost of energy drives the cost of everything. I just don't see it. And not that it's not going to happen, but I think what's happening here, he's timing it for midterm elections.
And let me ask you this. You say you just don't see it. Are we going to see it on the left coast?
Probably not.
Right. And so is this more of a regional problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think folks, Oregonians need to understand we have now the biggest opportunity with a crack in the concrete to shove this bill back down the throat of the left management of the state, because and you think, oh, well, what's 6 cents a gallon? What's 1% more on payroll tax? That just tells me these people don't understand what it is to run a business.
Sure.
And all the people that they're trying to protect, they're bearing them with costs. It's still expensive. Everything is expensive. It's way more than it ever has been. Now, he's trying to bring pharmaceutical drugs down. That'll be a big deal. If he can bring interest rates down, especially long-term for housing, that'll be a big deal.
Right.
But he's got to get energy down.
Yeah. Well, and there's one other thing in that equation, too. This Affordable Care Act, that's so unaffordable, our insurance premiums they got to address this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And they left. I have to say that this is even a Republican Party. Why in the world did they leave Washington without solving this problem? They're going to come back, and you know what's going to be on the table?
What?
Shutting the government down again.
Yes, you're right. And
it's going to pass the funding bill.
Right.
After all the shutdown for, 40-some-odd days?
Yeah.
And they still didn't pass it.
And guess what the central issue is going to be again?
It'll be the Affordable Care Act.
Absolutely. The tax credits on the Affordable Care Act. Absolutely. Here we go again.
Oh, God. Why don't you and I just run the government
for
12 hours?
That's all we need,
That's
right?
all we need.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a date nut bread break. With a lot of butter.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Have a blessed Christmas.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Good morning. 25 minutes before the hour, and Iran's back in the news.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I will say one thing that all this anxiety has produced. Doing the news and doing the headlines is hard to do, and today there's just hard stories.
Yeah.
But it has created a curiosity outside of the realm of the normal baloney that's going on in life. People are saying, well, is this it? Mm-hmm. Is this it? Is this all man can do is fight among themselves?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there really a God? Does he really love me? Is there really a heaven? Is the Bible real? There is an underground movement of God that you're never going to see in the press.
Mm-hmm. True.
And when you read stories like this, that Iran's now coming back into the picture again, it leaves people wondering, well, what in the world are you folks doing? What's this all about? And at the end of the day, you know what war is? It's two egos that can't get along. Mm-hmm. And innocent people die in between. Yeah. It's just crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so let's check in with CBN News Watch and get the latest of Iran waving its saber in the air.
This is CBN News Watch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm Lori Johnson. Today is Monday, December 22nd. We begin this half hour with news from the Middle East. Israel is preparing for another round of conflict with Iran. Prime Minister Netanyahu is expected to propose a plan of attack to President Trump later this month. Meanwhile, concerns are rising that Iran is rebuilding its missile capabilities and strengthening proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah. CBN's Joshua Swanson has more on our top story from Jerusalem.
Israeli leaders are openly warning of another confrontation with Iran. Sunday, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir warned the U.S. that Iranian missile exercises could be masking an attack. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to present plans for a possible new strike on Iran when he meets President Trump next week. General Zamir said Iran remains the central threat in what he called the longest and most complex war in Israel's history. He said the regime in Tehran is the driving force behind the terror groups encircling Israel, financing and arming Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Iraqi militias. He warned that Israel's enemies should have no doubt the IDF is prepared to strike again.
Our enemies once again felt the reach of the IDF's long arm, which will continue to strike wherever required, in fronts both near and far.
Iran's foreign minister claims the Islamic Republic has rebuilt all facilities damaged during June's 12-day war and cautions Israel against launching another attack. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham is also sounding the alarm. In a meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said Israel's enemies are rebuilding their strength.
While I celebrate the ceasefire, it was a major accomplishment. 90 days after the ceasefire, Hamas is not disarming, they're rearming. 90 days after the ceasefire, they're consolidating power in Gaza, they're not giving it up.
He also said Israel should strike if Iran shows any sign of rebuilding its nuclear or missile programs.
So if you see an effort to regenerate the enrichment program, hit it. If you see an effort to build more ballistic missiles to terrorize Israel that may one day get to Europe, hit it now.
The U.S. is also taking action against terrorism in the region, launching airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria after the killing of 2 soldiers and an interpreter. In Australia, thousands gathered at Bondi Beach just 1 week after a deadly anti-Semitic attack on the first day of Hanukkah.
The darkness is not defeated by anger or force. Darkness is transformed by light, and that light begins with what each of us chooses to do next. And returning to normal is not enough. Sydney can and must become a beacon of goodness.
In Jerusalem, on the final night of Hanukkah, President Isaac Herzog addressed Jewish communities in Australia.
Tonight, on the 8th final candle of Hanukkah, I want to say to the Jews of Australia, the people of Israel are with you. Despite thousands of miles being apart, we feel your pain. We see your courage.
From Iran's nuclear ambitions to rising anti-Semitism, leaders in the U.S. and Israel say the fight is far from over, and the coming year could shape the future security of Israel and the region. Joshua Swanson, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Back here at home, the Pentagon is continuing to ramp up pressure on the government of Venezuela. U.S. forces have stopped a second Venezuelan oil tanker, and we're tracking a third. Dale Hurd has the story.
Overnight, U.S. forces were in active pursuit of a third Venezuelan oil tanker, part of a so-called dark fleet, trying to avoid U.S. sanctions of oil exports in the Caribbean. The U.S. says the ship is flying under a false flag and is subject to a judicial seizure order. On Saturday, a Coast Guard tactical team seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. 10 days earlier, American forces rappelled down from helicopters onto another oil tanker's deck to take control of that ship. The move comes after President Trump announced a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers coming in and out of the South American country. Those tankers are suspected of shipping oil to nations under U.S. sanctions like Russia and Iran. Venezuela's government calls the seizures theft and hijacking. As tensions rise, Republican Senator Rand Paul said he hopes the situation does not spiral into war.
I consider it a provocation and a prelude to war, and I hope we don't go to war with Venezuela. It isn't the job of the American soldier to be the policeman of the world.
The U.S. now has its largest military presence in the Caribbean in decades, striking 28 alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, killing at least 100 people. And President Trump said last week he has not ruled out further military action, including ground strike.
Okay, well, I tell you, we'll just have to see how that all plays out, but everything seems to be back on the front burner again there in the Middle East. Yeah. Amazing, especially with Iran. What are we going to do with that? Are they going to allow this to happen?
I don't know. And who has recourse in this? Who do you think can do anything?
Well, look, Israel can defend themselves if they just got the green light from the White House.
Right. And
I don't understand that part.
They'll defend themselves even if they don't get a green light, won't they? Yeah.
In the end, they will.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, there's weather out there, and it is very mild, and it is wet, and it is interesting. And the guy that gives you the weather here, you be the judge.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With another front moving over the top of our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 48 in McMinnville. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 49 or 50 for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with a south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. In central Oregon, mostly sunny with a high in the upper 40s in Prineville, a chance of snow, then partly to mostly sunny in low 40s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rainy and patchy fog with a high near 51. Rainy and breezy along the Oregon coast with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and near 55 in Port Orford with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. In Brookings, a high of 51 and near 53 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, a chance of rain in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 40s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, a slight chance of rain and snow, then partly sunny in mid-40s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in mid-40s for Wairika. Showers with a flood watch for Redding with a high near 52, Chico near 56, and Sacramento near 57, with more rain expected through the week. Rain with patchy dense fog across the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, upper 50s in San Francisco with a light west wind, and a high near 60 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of our valley this morning, and a little of everything. You see some lights, you see some fog, you see some high clouds over the top. And we are still experiencing a power outage in certain parts of southern Oregon, and it happens to be right around where our tower is.
Yeah.
That's just so frustrating.
Of course.
Anyway, actually, inside of all of our frustrations, that's a pretty picture.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. With all that, you know, more lights than normal because of Christmas. Everybody's got Christmas lights.
Well, that's a perfect lead into this story because it is an illuminating holiday tradition, and it was invented on this day in history. On December 22nd, 1882, Christmas changed forever thanks to a little help from Thomas Edison. That year, one of Edison's associates, Edward H. Johnson, strung together 80 hand-wired red, white, and blue electric bulbs and wrapped them around a Christmas tree in New York City. It was the first known string of electric Christmas lights, a safer, brighter alternative to the candles that often caused fires. At the time, electric lights were considered a luxury, and many people thought the idea was impractical. But the glow captured imaginations. Over time, the tradition spread from wealthy homes to city streets, storefronts, and eventually neighborhoods everywhere. Those early bulbs sparked a holiday tradition that now lights up the world, from living room trees to massive outdoor displays seen by millions and even seen by astronauts on the International Space Station. More than a century later, Christmas lights remain a symbol of warmth, hope, and celebration, all because someone dared to imagine a brighter way to decorate a tree. There you go.
Well, 'tis the season, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Can you imagine people used to put candles on their Christmas trees, on live Christmas trees that would start to dry out? And have you ever seen one of those things burn?
Well, I mean, there was a time they put candles in trees.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Putting candles in Christmas trees? Seriously?
Poof. You ever seen one go?
Oh, that was part of our holiday tradition when we did real trees. We'd take it out in the meadow and we'd light it on fire. It was frightening how fast that thing would torch up. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas, 'tis the season. This is the week. A lot of people are traveling. Be careful out there. Here's a clip from the late Dr. Charles Stanley sharing the wonderful meaning of Christmas.
Christmas time comes along each year with bright music, brilliant colors, and I hope for you many wonderful memories. But above all the preparations, decorations, and distractions, Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ. As much as we enjoy gift-giving and family traditions, the reason for Christmas is God becoming flesh and living among us in His Son, Jesus. Men and women are separated from God because of their sins. But how can we be delivered from this destructive power of sin in our life? Not by our efforts to be good or even our good works, but only through Jesus Christ. You see, He's the only person ever born without sin, and He lived a perfect life so that He could die on our behalf. And by His death and resurrection, we have the promise of eternal life. Christmas has always been associated with gifts, but the first and most important gift of them all was God's gift of His Son, Jesus Christ. We couldn't possibly satisfy the requirements of a perfect God, but His Son can. And through Him we gain full access to God, so that by truly knowing Him, we have joy, peace, insight, and direction for our lives, and the promise of heaven. It all comes down to faith. When you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, that He is God Himself and worthy of all your praise, and when you believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you can have the gift of eternal life this Christmas. You simply need to ask God for it. And this is how you can pray. Heavenly Father, I know I've sinned against You, and I recognize that my sin has separated me from You. Forgive me of my sins. I confess that Jesus is Savior and Lord, and I surrender my life to You. With Your help, I'll follow You all the rest of my life. I trust You to keep Your promises to receive me into heaven. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. If you prayed that prayer sincerely, then Jesus Christ has come into your life. You've been born again. The old life is gone and the new one has come. Start your new life by reading the Bible. And as you read, talk to God, listening to what He says through His unchanging Word. With the Lord Jesus Christ in your life, Christmas will mean more to you than ever, because it will mark the first day of your new life in Christ. I pray you will make Jesus welcome in every area of your life for as long as you live.
Dr. Charles Stanley, simple, to the point, and trust that you'll do that. Coming up a little bit later on today, we got some great guests. We'll talk about that, but let's take a little break and see if there's any date nut bread over there. I don't think there is.
I don't either.
But I know something else is over there.
I do too.
And it's got way too many calories in it. So that doesn't qualify.
All right.
We'll be right back.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express, breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
Welcome back. 8 minutes before the hour. Over the weekend, they had what they call the Turning Point USA 2025 America Fest. You know. And, of course, Eric Kirk is heading that up now from her late husband, Charlie Kirk. And Pastor Lucas Miles, who we have on the program quite a bit, he spoke there, and he talked about the Eric Kirk effect on Gen Z women. And here's what he had to say.
It's very electric here. We have 30,000 registrants here in Phoenix. I'm sure there's a bunch more that just came to be around the area. It's been absolutely incredible. And there has been this kind of memorial aspect, but also a lot of excitement for the future. So we're having a great time here in Phoenix. Yeah, so 30,000 registrants, all ages, 54% female, actually, which is the first time ever that we've had more women here than men. And tonight's our faith programming, so my team takes over the stage for about 3 hours tonight. Worship event plus speakers. I'm opening up the night tonight. It's going to be incredible. Well, look, we've heard of the Charlie Kirk effect. I think we're seeing the Erica Kirk effect now too. I think there's a lot of, a big increase right now among Gen Z. We've seen Gen Z men already move more conservative. I think we're seeing a rise in Gen Z women as well that are showing up. And so there's so much excitement. Everybody's walking around. They're happy, they're engaged. There is a lot of introspection, a lot of remembrance of Charlie, a lot of celebration. I miss him dearly. I've known him since 2020, a dear friend. It was an honor of my life to be able to serve and work for him, but we're continuing the mission forward with tremendous resolve as we head into 2026.
All right, so it's off and run. It's a good deal. This is going to be a voting block to contend with in the next election.
Yeah.
And Erica Kirk has already endorsed J.D. Vance to be the Republican candidate for 2028, and she's not backing away from that. It's a little early, but it's a voting bloc, and she's being pretty hard and passionate about it. So how it goes. But they had a little bit of a controversy between Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson, kind of, sparred each other when they got to the podium.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of a mixed bag there. Right. But I do think that her effect on women is going to be what's needed, because his effect on young men's been already powerful.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's kind of what's coming up. Dan Perkins will be with us. Always great to have him. And LaFawn Yance will be with us. Interesting. I don't know if you remember me. I interviewed her husband on numerous occasions. And unfortunately, he was killed in an automobile accident. And very just devastating. And so she has... She's coming back out talking about the experience and wrote a book called A Place of Hope. So we'll talk to her about that.
Well, I don't know if it's edible, but 2 streaming giants have teamed up to create the world's largest gingerbread house. Take a look at this.
Disney Plus and Hulu are celebrating the 35th anniversary of the movie Home Alone by constructing the world's largest gingerbread house, which resembles the film's McAllister home. Guinness World Records confirmed that the structure, which is 34 feet long, 58 feet wide, and 25 feet tall, is the world's largest. A press release says the streamers' efforts over 8 days won them the Guinness World Record for the world's largest gingerbread house. The structure, which is on display in Hollywood, consists of 7,350 pounds of flour, more than 6,600 eggs, 20 gallons of edible glue, and 10 pounds of fondant.
Wouldn't you like to taste that edible glue? 20 pounds of edible glue? What is that?
No. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
A whole bunch.
That doesn't make any sense. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. So if you're suffering from fear today, that's not of the Lord. Okay? So seek Him and get the power of love and a sound mind going for you today.
Out here, Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate what truly matters: love, community, and the magic of being together. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Grange Co-op.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Be encouraged.
Be informed.
Join us weekdays for Mornings on the Dove.
Right here on the Dove TV.
Tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Monday. There's a whole lot of nothing going on out there.
Yeah.
I drove to work this morning and nobody was out there, which tells me that most people have the week off, which is good, you know.
Yeah.
Happy Monday to you. This is where Jerry is getting ready to wear his little red outfit. The one on the outside.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Say it ain't so.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Monday. A lot going on in the news. There always is. Weather-wise, interesting. And if you're frustrated and you're not seeing or hearing the Dove, I guess you wouldn't be hearing us right now.
No.
But there is a power outage in southern Oregon. And guess what?
Huh.
It's right where our tower is. Gosh, so frustrating. Anyway, they expect to have it up shortly, and so we'll let you know when that occurs.
So what is the status of our output? What are we on?
We're on everything but radio and over-the-air TV.
Okay.
All the other things are working just fine.
Okay, so streaming is okay.
Streaming, app, all that. You know, if you're watching on Roku, Apple TV, all that's working. Cable, all that's working. But I don't know. Oh, gosh, it's just so frustrating. But anyway, that's what's happening out there. So, hey, what do you got?
Well, first of all, it's National Date Nut Bread Day. It's one thing to eat. It goes back thousands of years. Obviously, they've been using dates in the Middle East for a long time. In fact, this bread goes all the way back to a country that's in the news, Iraq.
Oh.
Yeah, and Iran, both of them. But anyway, so date nut bread, that's what we have to eat today, and we'll slather it with butter. We'll serve it warm, and it's all good.
I just got a text from a couple of our inside people here.
Okay.
We're back up.
No way. All right.
So the tower's back up and running.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Dan and Dan.
Dan and Dan.
You say Dan around here, and 5 people come running.
Yeah. You know what's worse, though? When somebody says, hey, Barry, hey, Barry. It's like Jerry, Barry, Perry. There's 2 Perrys. And who else is in there?
Jerry, Barry.
Barry, Perry. Somebody else. Oh, Barry.
Barry.
Yeah, Barry. And so heads are turning like crazy. I remember Sue used to come out and she would yell Perry, and I'd be up in the radio studio, and I hear Barry. What? Wrong one. Okay, moving on. This is also National Founders Day. And of course, the Founding Fathers refers to the group of individuals who played a significant role in establishing the United States of America. Did you know that the Old Colony Club of Plymouth, Massachusetts, we're watching it now, they introduced an observance of this day in 1769. The town observes the holiday on the 22nd, carrying on the traditions established in 1769. They recognize the forefathers with several events, including the celebration begins at 6 a.m. We're watching this. A march by the members to the top of Coles Hill. They read a proclamation honoring the forefathers. A prayer is then given by a priest or a minister who is officiating, and then they fire the cannon. I mean, this is worth getting up and going to a 6 a.m. start to celebrate Founders Day. And so anyway, it's a nice way to get it going. And then I thought anytime I could show a video of somebody firing a cannon. So that's what we got to celebrate. We got a cannon fire.
Well, for you coffee people, for those of you who are you on cup 4 now?
Yeah.
Cup 4. Yeah. 4 cups. Yeah. Here's a little cup for you. All right. Coffee. This little picture of a coffee cup. Coffee because I wouldn't last a day in prison. Oh, that's good. Okay. Procrastinating.
Rainy and breezy along the Oregon coast with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and near 55 in Port Orford with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. In Brookings, a high of 51 and near 53 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, a chance of rain in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 40s for Grant Pass, Medford, and Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, a slight chance of rain and snow and partly sunny in mid-40s. In Northern California, a chance of rain in mid-40s for Wairika. Showers with flood watch for Redding with a high near 52, Chico near 56, and Sacramento near 57, with more rain expected through the week. Rain with patchy dense fog across the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, upper 50s in San Francisco with a light west wind, and a high near 60 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
That's kind of a big shot. You got some lights, you got a little bit of fog around the edges, it's clearing it for the tops and incoming weather. For those of you who are not getting that, we're getting a lot of text. I realize the audio is a little garbled. It takes a few moments for this to work its way through. When the tower goes, I won't get into all of this. I know more than I want to know. Okay, I've been through the years. But it's going to take a little bit for it to work itself out. Give it a few more minutes and it'll all be cleared up. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Let's see who else is out. Russ. All engineers out there working on it, so that's kind of crazy.
For Anne Graham Watson, she has one simple question. Do you have your ticket?
I'm sure this probably why, but my husband was in home life support in ICU, and his doctor came in, and I just put my hands on his shoulders. He got nose to nose with him, and I said, Dr. So-and-so, if this is you, would your family have the peace and the strength of knowing where you're going when you unplug her, and have the peace of knowing that you're going to see you again? Because you put your faith in Jesus, and he assured me that he had, and I turned down, and he told me that he had confessed his sin, received Christ as his Savior, he knew he was going to heaven. I said, then tell your family. Let them know, because at that moment in ICU, with my husband on life support, as hard as that was for all of us, and our whole family was gathered around him, we didn't grieve. This was to have no hope. We knew we would see him again. Because he put his trust in Jesus. When he was a little boy at vacation Bible school in the first, he changed how I came up and just draw near to me, and God said, draw near to me, and I'll draw near to you, and he had done that in his heart to Jesus. And so I know he had his ticket. So, if you have your ticket, let your family know. Tell those that you love that when the time comes for you, Jesus comes for you, not at the rapture, as you do before then. If Jesus comes for your death, it's okay. You'll see him again. If you put your faith in Jesus, that's what you do. If you want to see you again, they need to put their faith in Jesus, right?
Wow.
Such fashion. Yeah. I just sense a refreshing boldness of people sharing their faith lately. You'll never hear about this in the news. The news is overcome by all these crazy reports that we had to report on, and all the scandals and the nonsense and the baloney. Don't get me wrong, it's important baloney, but it's baloney. It's just humans going crazy. There's an underground search, seeking going on that's really legitimate, and I think that I've seen more people in various levels of life. And I think the problem we have is we want to put God in our box, in our culture, in our situation, forgetting that he's the creator of all things and the giver and the sustainer of all life. Okay? So he's there for you, but he's there for that person being persecuted in Africa. He's there for the person who's part of the underground church in China. And he's there. And so there's a move going on that you'll never see in the press. You got to know.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
They politicize it. Right. Yes, they politicize it. Yeah. Okay. So something else is happening out there. Yeah. And when you share a testimony like she just did, that's pretty amazing stuff. All right, good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. question, where are they getting them? Are these Russian-made missiles? Are these China-made missiles?
Are they North Korean?
Are they North? Where are they? Where are they coming from? How are they getting in there? And these are exercises that are going on, and this could be like, hey, you got one thing about we don't understand. I guess we have heads made of solid oak wood. Okay, every time they do something, they announce it.
Yeah.
And then they do it.
That's a great point. Yeah.
There's no surprise. Yeah. And then they do it.
They do it. Yeah.
So anyway, will we have to go back in and finish this up? I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. The Epstein files were starting to be released on Friday. What a can of worms this is. Thousands and thousands and thousands of files have been released, and pictures, some were pictures, and some words have been redacted. And you kind of wonder, okay, how much of this is the protection innocently of the innocents? How much of it is kind of being done purposely to control the left?
Well, we know that there was a purposeful redaction done on a picture of President Trump with a bunch of young ladies, and apparently they were contestants, I think, in Miss Universe pageant or something like that. Anyway, so they redacted, they covered up all the faces to make it look like the president was with all these victims of Epstein, and it had nothing to do with it whatsoever. It was just a smear.
Now, folks, since this has come out, which was Friday, thousands of files, and the left's going crazy because some of us redacted and first of all, it's interesting that the Democrats have had this for years and didn't do anything with it. And the president has said from day one, release the files. Yeah. Now they're coming out. Okay, and I have to say, some of these pictures are really bad.
Yeah, well, you know, there's our call this. It's not the Clinton files. There's the picture I was talking about. Yeah, Clinton is over and over and over again. In fact, did you see him and Epstein had like these matching shirts that they got?
The thing's really bad.
Oh my God!
So it's going to be ugly. It's going to be it's pornography in the news.
Yeah. Oh yes.
You know, it's really bad. And so the only thing I can say is roll with it. It'll go away. This will be bad and embarrassing. And every time the president.
These findings corroborated a 2024 reprimand by Georgia's state election board, which determined Fulton County had double counted at least 3,000 ballots. Interesting, though, that was below the threshold that Joe Biden allegedly won.
Yeah, because that's what's going on.
Well, that's pretty embarrassing. All right, so that's going to be in the news for a couple more days. It's a bad news. I'll tell you that. Well, we've talked about this before, and that is, why is Europe allowing themselves to be slowly eroded from its self-government, from its roots, Western roots,
from its culture,
and it's seriously it's going on.
Yes.
And whether or not the leadership in Parliament they'll have Farage will ever get elected, he's kind of like Trump over there. He could get elected. We'll see what happens. But they've allowed for the coexistence of parliamentary law along with Sharia law in certain neighborhoods.
Right. No zones.
So Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, said, hey, wait a minute, this is serious stuff, and it's happening, and we're losing our shared values between us. And here's what he had to say.
What we try to point to is very simple. At the bedrock and the cornerstone of our relationship, for example, with Europe, is the fact that we do have a shared culture, a shared civilization, a shared experience, and shared values and principles on things like human rights, on freedom, on liberty, on democracy, on all sorts of on rights of the individual, on all these sorts of things that we, in this nation, are the inheritors of in many cases, because many of these ideas that led to the founding of our country found their genesis in some of these places in the Western Alliance. If you take that away, that's wiped out because for whatever reason it's no longer a part of it. I do think it puts a strain and threatens the alliance in the long term in the big picture. Now, whatever internal politics causes people to dispute this, I'm not going to comment on, other than to tell you that I do think that at the core of these special relationships we have is the fact that we have shared history, shared values, shared civilizational principles that we should be apologetic about. This is a nation that was founded on Western principles. Founded on Western principles like liberty, the value of and the right of the individual, the right of self-governance. These are all Western values. Now, others may have adopted in different parts of the world, but they emanate from Western history. And it's something that we should be apologetic about. Why would we be apologetic about it? Anyone who doesn't recognize, for example, that here is that we are concerned, particularly in parts of Western Europe, those things that underpin our lives and our tie to them could be under threat in the long term. And by the way, there are leaders in those countries that recognize that as well. Some say it openly, some say it privately. In the eastern and southern part of Europe, they're much more open about it. Nonetheless, it is a fact that needs to be addressed.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. It's alarming, and we got to remember we came from there, and so I don't know. Hopefully I'll have a awakening. I will say this: as much as Christianity has been squelched in the UK, even standing on the corner thinking about praying for somebody, you get arrested.
Yeah.
Right to the point where there's now an underground revival, and it is growing like crazy.
Imagine on one side you can't even silently pray in front of an abortion clinic, a Christian clinic. Yet there are Sharia law zones where police have no go. They don't go in and exercise their authority in those places because they don't have any. They just leave it alone. It's like you have these two contrasts going on.
And you have the BBC manufacturing false narratives against the president.
Yeah.
I assume $10 billion. Here's the point. Isn't it interesting? The UK's kind of going through where we're getting a hold of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're slowly getting a hold of this. We went too far. Yeah. We're starting to clean it up.
Right.
They're not even close to an awakening yet.
Yeah.
But there is some. But on the ground, there's revival going on. So it's serious stuff.
Yeah, and I think you're right. We've self-corrected, but I think that past administrations have been influenced by what's going on in Europe. And they kind of thought that was a good thing, but man, is it blowing up on them.
Well, wokeness is hitting the wall. And the question will be, will the king not protect the country? The king is woke. And but he's pulled back since he's become king. He was much more woke before he became king. Now that he's king, he's pulled back. He found this neutral ground. I don't know where William is in some of this stuff, but if the monarchy was to say, hey, wait a minute, we need to protect the fundamentals of the country here,
well, you bring up a good point. We don't know where William is on this, but he seems to be a very stern protector of monarchy.
Yes.
And so I would expect that he would be looking at this through the lens of reality.
He could be.
Hopefully.
Given the fact that he's gone through a lot with his wife and his dad and brother.
Right.
It's a whole bunch of, stability only exists here at the Dove Morning Show. Well, not really. slides, mudslides, taking out trees and everything else. It just wipes everything out. There we are.
Hot dog.
How are you?
Yeah.
Okay. We're well aware of all these problems. We're working on it. We had a power outage, and it just causes all kind of problems. Anyway, so drive carefully. The level 3, which is go now, has been lifted as of Sunday in some of the areas, but some of the rivers and creeks are still rising. We had a lot of rain yesterday, so be careful out there. This next story is kind of really kind of a neat deal. You know, we had Lee Strobel in the Valley a couple of weeks ago. He was a investigative journalist that decided that he was going to prove that there was no God, then Jesus wasn't real.
Yeah.
And in that, he ended up becoming one of the great Christian apologists of our day. The book that put him on the map was A Case for Christ. He's really just an amazing gentleman. I've interviewed him several times, just really a terrific guy. Well, Hobby Lobby hooked up with him and bought $500,000 of his latest book called The Case for Christmas and giving them away at their stores.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So Hobby Lobby bought $500,000 of Lee Strobel's book, The Case for Christmas, and they'll be giving away at their stores. So he was an atheist. He was a former Chicago Tribune legal editor. He was an attorney, legal editor. He decided he was going to investigate the evidence of Christianity and found out that he ended up being converted. Pretty interesting story.
Amazing story.
Just a wonderful guy. But anyway, his book called The Case for Christmas, Hobby Lobby bought $500,000 of them.
Wow.
And going to give them away at their stores. Isn't that cool?
Hey, I got word we cleared up.
Are we cleared up?
Yeah, I heard we cleared up. I heard we got sound.
Sorry about all that, folks. We had a power outage at creates all kinds of havoc. You know, every time there's a power outage, I run to the IT room.
What do you learn when you go back there?
Nothing. And what's interesting, I just sit there, I pray over it, and I hope that Dan Camden's in the building.
Yes.
Or Rick. You know.
Right.
I look at all these wires and the lights are blinking and everything out. I actually act like I know what I'm looking at.
Well, at least you go back there. I don't even bother. Why would I?
Yeah, so anyway, thank you for your patience. Sorry. When the power goes out, it's just a really messy job to get it all cleaned up. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for this Monday morning. Thank you, Preston, with Smart Lawn. If you're smart, you'll call him and not mow again. The Dow's up 106, the Nasdaq is up 128, almost 129, and the S&P is up 30.5 points. So some good green ink to start this Christmas week. Gold's back. Look at this, 44.54 for gold. Wow. Look at this, silver 68.88. Wow. And crude oil, up almost $2 again.
Going up.
$60.83 a barrel. Everything's green, some of it going in the wrong direction, like oil.
Yeah, yeah. Well, especially on the left coast. But, well, this is interesting. Over the weekend, President Trump spoke at Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and he commented on the scandal in Minnesota. Let's listen in.
How about the new thing in Minnesota with the Somalians? They stole, now it came out, the great U.S. attorney up there, they came out, think of this, $9 billion, and they think that's just the beginning. They stole. Think of it. In their country, they live on nothing. They have nothing. They come here and they steal $9 billion. Are we stupid? I mean, how do we allow that to happen? Ilhan Omar should be sent out of our country. She should not be allowed to be a congresswoman. She married her brother either to stay or to get him into the country. And yesterday she, I guess, made up a story. She said the police attacked her son. They stopped a car and the police said, we never attacked him, we never stopped him. It was a made-up story. She's a con person, she's full of con. She says, zero. She said, you ought to get her the hell out of our country. That's what you ought to do. She made up a story that the police stopped her son's car and they harassed the hell out of him. It turned out to be a fake story. There was no stoppage of his car and there was no harassment. But think of that, in Minnesota, this beautiful place, once beautiful, I don't call it beautiful, you got a governor who's a stupid person and a corrupt. He's corrupt and stupid. But he allowed this to go on. He allowed this to go on. Everybody knew it was going on. But what nobody knew is over $9 billion. And the people of Minnesota are not happy.
Are they?
Are they what?
Are they really not happy?
Yeah, that's a great question.
And are they upset enough to do something about it? And by the way, when you're talking billions and millions of dollars to people who are trying to figure out how to stretch a dollar, it's beyond their comprehension.
Right.
And if do they understand that their tax dollars, that they're being taxed to death in a state?
Right.
$9 billion of those tax dollars went to this group of people to be on welfare with all the benefits, many of them illegals.
Yeah.
Do they understand that when they don't understand that they didn't see their tax dollar leave their paycheck? I think there is a huge disconnect when you're talking with billions of dollars in taxes and this kind of corruption, that the average person doesn't understand it because they didn't feel it themselves.
Exactly. Perfect, yes.
And so when you see this going on, you kind of go, oh, well, that's really bad, $9 billion. Yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's going to be a racist issue, obviously. But it's not. This is theft.
That's the problem. This boils down to fear of racism, and it really even boils down to back to that story we were talking about, what's going on in Europe. They're so fearful of being portrayed as racist, they look the other way at the obvious as what's going on. And that happened in Minnesota, especially, not only in state government, but in the news media. The local news media was afraid to call them out because they don't want to be called racist. And that's what this boils down to.
Well, I don't know where this story is going to go. It's bad. Here's the thing that I think our country is. Bill Bennett said it years ago when he wrote the book called The Death of Outrage. Will anything happen to Walz? Governor Walz? Probably not.
Yeah. Did you see what his defense was? Well, how about those bad Christian white men and the stuff they do? Right.
So you got that going on.
Yeah.
Look at all the corruption that we have seen in this country and ask yourself one question. Has anybody gone to jail?
That's a great question.
See?
I don't know.
Anything happened to Comey? Anything happened to Brennan?
No.
Anything happened to Pelosi?
No.
Anything happened to Hunter? Anything? And you go on down the list.
No, you're right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you still have a lot of January 6 people sitting in jail without representation. You get tired of harsh words that mean nothing.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's really bad. And so we have become lawless. And the question is, what will turn around? But I want to go back to something. I sensed this over the weekend. I read 2 quick articles, and I'm not a good reader. But the essence is this. The anxiety of the culture is producing a hunger for truth. Now, that's a broad statement.
Yeah, but
you insert Christian media into the middle of that statement, and all of a sudden you realize that God has us in a place to reach people that otherwise would never be reached because media is privately consumed. You can listen in your car without anybody knowing about it.
Yes.
You can watch it on your TV and nobody's listening to it. You can stream it and nobody knows that you're doing this.
Right.
And at that moment, only God can match the content of that moment with the person. And that's the miracle that takes place. People are seeking something else because the culture has lied to them.
Yeah.
And are we there with the truth in a loving and graceful way?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not in a harsh way, but a graceful way. You can argue your theological points later. In the meantime, share the gospel.
Amen.
Don't quit cleaning the fish before you catch it.
Look at Anne Graham Lotz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Maybe it's time for me to take an offering.
Yeah, I think so. I'll carry the plates.
We'll be right back.
Okay, I'll carry.
Oh. Is that right?
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle.
We would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle,
but take care of you.
Good morning, 26 minutes before the hour on a Monday morning, Christmas week. I'm driving in this morning, a little foggy, you know.
Yeah.
And normally, there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
There's cars going and coming.
Yeah.
Even at 4:15 in the morning.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I go, was the rapture that occurred and I got left behind? What happened here? I know I got problems.
Were you worried?
Well, I know I'm still a sinner, and I got... What was it, Lord, that canceled me out?
Yeah.
There were nobody out there.
Yeah, nobody.
So it's Christmas week. Drive carefully out there, okay? All right, let's check in with CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm Lori Johnson. Today is Monday, December 22nd. We begin this half hour with news from the Middle East. Israel is preparing for another round of conflict with Iran. Prime Minister Netanyahu is expected to propose a plan of attack to President Trump later this month. Meanwhile, concerns are rising that Iran is rebuilding its missile capabilities and strengthening proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah. CBN's Joshua Swanson has more on our top story from Jerusalem.
Israeli leaders are openly warning of another confrontation with Iran. Sunday, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir warned the U.S. that Iranian missile exercises could be masking an attack. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to present plans for a possible new strike on Iran when he meets President Trump next week. General Zamir said Iran remains the central threat in what he called the longest and most complex war in Israel's history. He said the regime in Tehran is the driving force behind the terror groups encircling Israel, financing and arming Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Iraqi militias. He warned that Israel's enemies should have no doubt the IDF is prepared to strike again.
Our enemies once again felt the reach of the IDF's long arm, which will continue to strike wherever required, in fronts both near and far.
Iran's foreign minister claims the Islamic Republic has rebuilt all facilities damaged during June's 12-day war and cautions Israel against launching another attack. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham is also sounding the alarm. In a meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said Israel's enemies are rebuilding their strength.
While I celebrate the ceasefire, it was a major accomplishment. 90 days after the ceasefire, Hamas is not disarming, they're rearming. 90 days after the ceasefire, they're consolidating power in Gaza. They're not giving it up.
He also said Israel should strike if Iran shows any sign of rebuilding its nuclear or missile programs.
If you see an effort to regenerate the enrichment program, hit it. If you see an effort to build more ballistic missiles to terrorize Israel that may one day get to Europe, hit it now.
The U.S. is also taking action against terrorism in the region, launching airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria after the killing of 2 soldiers and an interpreter. In Australia, thousands gathered at Bondi Beach just 1 week after a deadly anti-Semitic attack on the first day of Hanukkah.
The darkness is not defeated by anger or force. Darkness is transformed by light, and that light begins with what each of us chooses to do next. And returning to normal is not enough. Sydney can and must become a beacon of goodness.
In Jerusalem, on the final night of Hanukkah, President Isaac Herzog addressed Jewish communities in Australia.
Tonight, on the 8th final candle of Hanukkah, I want to say to the Jews of Australia, the people of Israel are with you. Despite thousands of miles being apart, we feel your pain. We see your courage.
From Iran's nuclear ambitions to rising anti-Semitism, leaders in the U.S. and Israel say the fight is far from over, and the coming year could shape the future security of Israel and the region. Joshua Swanson, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Back here at home, the Pentagon is continuing to ramp up pressure on the government of Venezuela. U.S. forces have stopped a second Venezuelan oil tanker, and we're tracking a third. Dale Hurd has the story.
Overnight, U.S. forces were in active pursuit of a third Venezuelan oil tanker, part of a so-called dark fleet, trying to avoid U.S. sanctions of oil exports in the Caribbean. The U.S. says the ship is flying under a false flag and is subject to a judicial seizure order. On Saturday, a Coast Guard tactical team seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. 10 days earlier, American forces rappelled down from helicopters onto another oil tanker's deck to take control of that ship. The move comes after President Trump announced a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers coming in and out of the South American country. Those tankers are suspected of shipping oil to nations under U.S. sanctions like Russia and Iran. Venezuela's government calls the seizures theft and hijacking. As tensions rise, Republican Senator Rand Paul said he hopes the situation does not spiral into war.
I consider it a provocation and a prelude to war, and I hope we don't go to war with Venezuela. It isn't the job of the American soldier to be the policeman of the world.
The U.S. now has its largest military presence in the Caribbean in decades, striking 28 alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, killing at least 100 people. And President Trump said last week he has not ruled out further military action, including ground strike.
We'll see what goes.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Let's check out the weather on this Christmas Monday.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With another front moving over the top of our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 48 in McMinnville. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 49 or 50 for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with a south wind gusting up to 28 miles per hour. In central Oregon, mostly sunny with a high in the upper 40s in Prineville, a chance of snow, then partly to mostly sunny in low 40s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rainy and patchy fog with a high near 51. Rainy and breezy along the Oregon coast with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and near 55 in Port Orford with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. In Brookings, a high of 51 and near 53 in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, a chance of rain in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 40s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, a slight chance of rain and snow, then partly sunny in mid-40s. Into northern California, a chance of rain in mid-40s for Wairika. Showers with a flood watch for Redding with a high near 52, Chico near 56, and Sacramento near 57, with more rain expected through the week. Rain with patchy dense fog across the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, upper 50s in San Francisco with a light west wind, and a high near 60 in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
Oh.
Well, there you go. There's a picture of Mount Ashland, and
it's not skiable, first of all.
No,
but there is some snow there.
Not much.
Not much at all.
No. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Here we are, Christmas week.
Yeah.
We're out skiing. It could be one of those seasons that we've seen in the past. You get it all at once, and then you have so much snow you can't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
After all that. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But look, we're not alone. Bachelor, the Sierra has all these problems. Shasta.
Every place, up and down the West Coast. Yeah. Yep. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
But,
right now
normally we have snow and we enjoy the snow, but when it melts, it fills the reservoirs.
Yeah.
Well, the reservoirs are now full without snow.
Without snow, because we're getting so much rain.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all goes. All right, did we just do the weather?
Yeah, we did.
Gosh.
Yeah, we're getting some, too.
Well, I tell you what, my brain's so confused. Thank you for your patience. Yes, we had a lot of technical problems. Yes, we were off the air. Yes, we had no audio. Then it was garbled. Then we had no video.
Right. And then it was on, and then it was off, and then it was garbled. But apparently right now, it's loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Well, Dan, you can take the rest, the 3 minutes off.
All right. Well, we've got something else. You take 3 minutes. Enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah.
All right.
3 minutes, Dan. Take a chill, baby, chill.
It is an illuminating holiday tradition, and it was invented on this day in history.
On December 22nd, 1882, Christmas changed forever thanks to a little help from Thomas Edison. That year, one of Edison's associates, Edward H. Johnson, strung together 80 hand-wired red, white, and blue electric bulbs and wrapped them around a Christmas tree in New York City. It was the first known string of electric Christmas lights, a safer, brighter alternative to the candles that often caused fires. At the time, electric lights were considered a luxury, and many people thought the idea was impractical. But the glow captured imaginations. Over time, the tradition spread from wealthy homes to city streets, storefronts, and eventually neighborhoods everywhere. Those early bulbs sparked a holiday tradition that now lights up the world, from living room trees to massive outdoor displays seen by millions and even seen by astronauts on the International Space Station. More than a century later, Christmas lights remain a symbol of warmth, hope, and celebration, all because someone dared to imagine a brighter way to decorate a tree.
Well, there you go.
Imagine. It was a big advancement, putting electric lights on and getting rid of the candles on your tree. Yes.
Can't believe they did
that. Wouldn't you love to know fire statistics back in the old,
how many went up?
How many went up? Yeah.
Doesn't take much.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
All right. Well, so much for lights. You got lights up at your house?
Oh, yeah. And now these days, they build them into the trees.
Yeah.
And then you have your options. You have a little button and say, oh, okay, do I want the white lights? Or do I want the colored lights? Yeah. Or do I want the colored lights to blink? Or do I want it to blink back and forth between the white and the color? Right. You just, you can have whatever you want.
There you go.
All right.
Well, let's check in with the late Dr. Charles Stanley. We'll tap on him.
Okay.
He's going to give you the message of Christmas.
Okay. All right.
Christmas time comes along each year with bright music, brilliant colors, and I hope for you many wonderful memories. But above all the preparations, decorations, and distractions, Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ. As much as we enjoy gift giving and family traditions, the reason for Christmas is God becoming flesh and living among us in His Son, Jesus. Men and women are separated from God because of their sins. But how can we be delivered from this destructive power of sin in our life? Not by our efforts to be good or even our good works, but only through Jesus Christ. You see, He's the only person ever born without sin, and He lived a perfect life so that He could die on our behalf. And by His death and resurrection, we have the promise of eternal life. Christmas has always been associated with gifts, but the first and most important gift of them all was God's gift of His Son, Jesus Christ. We couldn't possibly satisfy the requirements of a perfect God, but His Son can. And through Him we gain full access to God, so that by truly knowing Him, we have joy, peace, insight, and direction for our lives, and the promise of heaven. It all comes down to faith. When you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, that He is God Himself and worthy of all your praise, and when you believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you can have the gift of eternal life this Christmas. You simply need to ask God for it. And this is how you can pray. Heavenly Father, I know I've sinned against you, and I recognize that my sin has separated me from you. Forgive me of my sins. I confess that Jesus is Savior and Lord, and I surrender my life to you. With your help, I'll follow you all the rest of my life. I trust you to keep your promises to receive me into heaven. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. If you prayed that prayer sincerely, then Jesus Christ has come into your life. You've been born again. The old life is gone and the new one has come. Start your new life by reading the Bible. And as you read, talk to God, listening to what He says through His unchanging Word. With the Lord Jesus Christ in your life, Christmas will mean more to you than ever, because it will mark the first day of your new life in Christ. I pray you will make Jesus welcome in every area of your life for as long as you live.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. All right, we'll take a quick, let's see, date, nut bread break.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, warm with butter on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
He's got the whole world in his hands, and he knows the plans for us. Above and beyond we could ask or imagine. His grace is more than enough. It's in his hands. It's in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Come on, Steve.
30 seconds or less, the length of a typical soundbite. You can't really learn much. It takes time to ask questions and understand. Focus Today does just that. We give you an hour so you can understand better. Focus Today on the Dove TV.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
9 minutes before the hour on this beautiful Christmas Monday as we head down Christmas week. Drive carefully out there. And a lot of weather, kind of mild. Don't see any problems with the roads other than just a lot of water.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, Turning Point USA, which was the founder, the organization of Charlie Kirk and his wife, Erica Kirk, now has picked that up, and it's just growing in leaps and bounds. Yeah. They had over 30,000 people at a meeting over the weekend in Phoenix.
Oh, man.
It was called Turning Point USA's 2025th America Fest, or AmFest. And our good friend, Pastor Lucas Miles, who used to work with Charlie very closely, he spoke there. But here's his little recap of what the weekend was like.
The mission didn't end with Charlie's life. It's being lived out through each and every one of you in your own way. Again, it doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter your background.
Absolutely. So we're looking at about 30 dates across the country in 2026. Our first one is actually kicking off at Harvest Church with Pastor Greg Laurie on January 21st. It's a Wednesday. We're going to have a great speaker lineup. You might see Erica Kirk at some of these stops, as well as myself and a lot of our other speakers. We want to keep the spirit of the revival going across this country, not only to make this the most conservative generation in history, but also the most Christian generation in history. And with God's grace, we're going to do just that.
Wow.
Okay, let me just give you a little warning here for folks here, a little bit. Already, there are phony Turning Point organizations promoting their chapter as a chapter under this one, and it's not true.
Whoa.
We've had it happen locally here. And wanted time on the air and all this and that.
Really?
And all of a sudden, we had to go back and research all of this.
Okay.
So be careful here, but they're going to plan these rallies across the country in 2026 because that is the midterm elections.
Okay.
Most political consultants would tell you that Turning Points now is a voting bloc to contend with, a huge voting bloc to contend with, because primarily it's dealing with young people.
Right.
And they're turned on, they're conservative, and they're turning out the vote. But as they go to these cities and everything, and I've already told Lucas Miles there when we talked to him on the phone, and he's on the program here a lot, I said, make sure you guys really tell people which ones are official and which ones are not.
Yeah, if somebody is approached by...
They're using it as fundraising, and it's just phonies. It's like one of these things you get on. You got to click here because you're past due in your bill.
Exactly, right.
And you got to be careful about that.
So do people just go to Turning Point to find out if the...
They're going to put the rally... Yes, the rally dates on their website.
Okay, all right.
But if there's local organizations popping up trying to raise money off of it, and I ran into it here, and I go, this is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and it just shows you the human heart, how
right. But you know what? It's amazing what Turning Point is doing, and you have mentioned Erica. If she has the same influence on young women as her husband had on young men, this is a powerful force.
Powerful force.
Oh, man.
Powerful force.
All right. Well, talking about powerful force, two streaming giants have teamed up to create the world's largest gingerbread house. Check this out.
Disney Plus and Hulu are celebrating the 35th anniversary of the movie Home Alone by constructing the world's largest gingerbread house, which resembles the film's McAllister home. Guinness World Records confirmed that the structure, which is 34 feet long, 58 feet wide, and 25 feet tall, is the world's largest. A press release says the streamers' efforts over 8 days won them the Guinness World Record for the world's largest gingerbread house. The structure, which is on display in Hollywood, consists of 7,350 pounds of flour, more than 6,600 eggs, 20 gallons of edible glue, and 10 pounds of fondant.
There's no such thing as edible glue.
Wait a minute. You know, I had friends in way back in first grade kindergarten. You know, they ate glue.
We did,
and it wasn't the edible glue
because it smelled good, and you chewed on it. Okay, and we all survived. But I don't know what edible glue is.
Edible glue. Oh, my goodness.
So are they going to eat the thing when it's all done?
I don't know. You know, that was a big old house.
That's bigger than this room?
Yes.
Wow.
And all celebrating Home Alone. That's one of the holiday movies some might want to watch this year.
All right. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Great scripture for you today. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of sound and of love and of a sound mind. That's the promise. God is not the author of fear. He's given you the power of love and a sound mind. So take that with you today. Hang in there, Jerry.
I'm hanging.
Yeah, that's about all you can do right now.
That's it. That's it, man.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
Bah, humbug! And don't do what I did. Go to Father & Son Jewelry.
At Father & Son Jewelry, you'll save 50% off all Black Hills gold. Diamond earrings starting at $49.99. Silver, 50% off. All in-stock gold hoops and pearls, 50% off. 1/3 off all our engagement sets. Prices so low, even Scrooge would approve.
God bless us, one and all.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Chris Silva understands your home and your commercial buildings are two of the largest investments most people make in a lifetime. One is for your family, the other is to support your family financially. That is why Chris Silva Painting goes the extra mile to protect both homes and commercial buildings with proper painting preparation and high-quality primers and paints. Serving Southern Oregon since 2006, this family-owned and operated business has painted over 1,000 homes. Chris Silva Painting offers an industry-leading 5-year warranty that covers materials and labor on all painting projects projects work for both residential and commercial buildings, both interior and exterior painting. Chris and his crew are courteous, they are efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960.
Watch the 700 Club every weekday. We bring you compelling interviews with the information you need for better health, stronger finances, and a more abundant life. Every day you'll hear inspiring stories from right here at home and across the globe. We cover the issues that matter most to you and your family. For thoughtful analysis and insight into the news of the day from a biblical perspective.
Watch the 700 Club Monday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
Folks, the Dove TV is encouraging and informative. Join me for the John Ankerberg Show weekdays at 4 p.m. right here on the Dove.
Recipe for a great morning. Get plenty of rest. Spend quality time with God. Have a good breakfast. Then add a generous helping of Perry, Jerry, and Mornings on the Dove. They'll get you ready for the day with encouragement and information.
Good morning to you. Happy Monday. Here we are.
Mixing in the latest news, weather to plan your day, an inspiring reminder from God's Word, baked with timely insights and discussions on today's headlines.
Do you realize how many headlines are out there this morning?
Oh, man. And of course, lots of laughs, fun, and encouragement they're famous for.
That is no joke, Barry. That's not a joke. That's real. I've seen pictures of that.
To bring you a smile before you start the day. Make Mornings on the Dove part of your morning recipe.
Anyway, good morning to you.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 a.m. only on the Dove TV and radio. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Always a joy when we have time to sit down with our good friend, Dan Perkins. He's a political commentator. He's the host of What's on My Mind podcast. There's the soft side of him because he writes historic romantic novels, better known as Sad Eyes, and you can get those volumes online. He has a couple of websites, danperkins.guru and songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us, which is his outreach to veterans, and very impacting. And when he's not writing books and commenting on current events, he plays Santa Claus somewhere, I'm sure, because he just has the personality to be a good Santa. Hey, Dan.
Good morning, sir. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Good to see you. How you doing, bud?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. A lot to talk to you about, short amount of time. The big one is you know, Friday, the Epstein files started to be released across the country. A lot of criticism that they weren't all released or some was redacted, and now that's been corrected. But they are being released. Any big surprises to you?
No. It's interesting that the Democrats are using Epstein and his activities to try and implicate Donald Trump. So far, as you and I have talked about this before, if there was anything in the documents which were controlled by the Justice Department under Joe Biden that would implicate Donald Trump, they would have been out a long, long time ago. So I can't imagine that the Justice Department would be withholding information while they were in control of all the documents under Donald Trump. So that tells me that the Democrats are desperate, and the problem is they've been releasing stuff, but it's been boomeranging on them, and it's not getting them the effect that they would hope they were going to get. And so I think they're concerned about another on Friday is going to put them more in embarrassing situations.
Unfortunately and sadly, the main character that's emerging here is former President Bill Clinton. Now they're calling it the Clinton files.
Oh, yeah. I mean, pictures that came out last week with him in the hot tub. You know, we if you remember, when he was running for president the first time, and the story about all the ladies that the state highway patrol were protecting him from, and then the stand-up denial as president when he was having an affair with a White House intern. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. He stood there in front of people of the country and outright lied to what was going on. He was forever tainted as in my opinion, as a indecent and immoral individual. And I think that no matter what his political expectations were, what his political expertise were, as more and more came out over the years, and the FBI and the Secret Service were talking about his relationship with the lady who was visiting when Hillary was out of the New York home, just continued to compound that he was a terrible individual, and I think they were trying to protect him, but when they pushed so hard to get stuff out, Trump said we're going to release it all, and that scared them, and I think they backed themselves into a corner that they can't get out of. And you're right, his reputation, but also the Democratic Party and the news media is in fact culpable in this whole thing.
Two other quick questions, because I think this thing will begin to fade, but both have been subpoenaed to testify before the Judiciary Committee with the threat of contempt of Congress if they don't show up, and primarily to be asked questions about the Epstein file. Why is that important now?
Well, that's a question that is important, but in a different context. We have several different camps in the country. One camp wants to punish the Democrats for what they did to Donald Trump in the first term, with all the impeachments and the trials that took place when he ran for the second time. There's another group of people who say, let's move on. And then there's a third group, which is probably, I think, bigger than most people would anticipate, who say, wait a minute. If you did the crime, you got to do the time. And the idea that if you're a Democrat, you get off, if you're a Republican, you go to jail, cannot continue to be out there. So I think why we have to do it, we have to make sure that the kind of things that took place under the Biden administration and what Clinton did when he was president, as much as possible, don't happen again. And you can't do that by saying, okay, let's just move on. Because moving on doesn't deal with the issue of what laws were broken, what crimes were committed, and they went unpunished. That's acceptable, I think, to the vast majority of Americans.
The other question about this is so obvious now, it's just so interesting to me, how well connected Jeffrey Epstein was among the who's who of America. And when you see the names of people that he gathered with, partied with, and even those who visited his island, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, even John Roberts is on that list, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Well, you've got also Bill Gates.
You got Bill Gates, and,
on the list.
And the list goes on and on. And because he's been, convicted, or was being convicted of trafficking, he's gone now, but just the association with a guy of that character implicates these other people just by association.
Yes, guilt by association. Guilt by association.
Yeah.
And I know this, I'm going to say repetitive because we've talked about this concept I'm about to say. We have a society right now that by and large, a big percentage don't want to be held accountable for their actions. Mm-hmm. And of that group of people, the elites, the people who have money and who have the power and the influence, are the greatest offenders. They feel like they don't have to answer to the same laws that you and I do. And that's not what this country's about.
Well, I suspect this story is now out, and it'll probably be bumped around. This is the holiday weeks, and I think it'll fade fast because they'll be turning towards midterm elections attention. But it's pretty sad,
yes.
Pretty nasty.
Mm-hmm.
The other story that really created some interest is the renaming of the Kennedy Center to the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for Performing Arts. Really caused an uproar within the Beltway. What's your take?
Well, I find it, quite honestly, amusing that we're wasting time talking about the renaming of the Kennedy Center. He took over a center that needs desperate repair, that needed desperate repair on its balance sheet and its process and procedures, and he's trying to save it. That's an example of all the things that Donald Trump has really been trying to do. He's trying to save this country. He's trying to make this country what it used to be. And he's not trying to make it something new. He's trying to restore what it was in its integrity. And the Democrats are opposed to that because they don't want to go back to what we were. They don't want that. And so anything that they can do to try to minimize his impact, they're going to do. And the idea of changing to the Kennedy Center, it doesn't mean that there's going to be better performances or worse performances, or it's going to be better in terms of financials. Probably will be, because Trump will be able to get donations from the private sector to bolster that. But you know, we got people dying in Ukraine, and we're worried about the name on the Kennedy Center. I mean, it's stupid. It's just a waste of time. It doesn't deserve the ink that it's getting. Too many more important issues.
All right, to those other issues. What's happening with Venezuela, the blockade of ships going and coming, the taking out of running boats. This is really interesting. Do you think we will end up with on-the-ground military action in Venezuela?
I am so glad you asked that question, because I was prepared to force you to ask that question if you didn't. This is a very important issue because it has many different sides to it. I just want to focus on two. As I said, many but two. Most people in the world do not know, including the United States people, and probably many people in the Congress, that there are 1,000 tankers, what they're called phantom tankers, that are traveling all over the world. And they're selling crude oil in ports that will want the crude oil off the market. There's 1,000 tankers floating. One of the countries that has a lot of the floating tankers out there is Venezuela. Number two, so we got to put a stop to this pirating of oil by 1,000 ships around the world. With no ports, they're just out floating. They get it where they can and sell it where they can, and they keep. It's a big problem to the oil markets. That's number one. Number two, if you take Venezuela, Venezuela has the largest reserves, larger than Saudi Arabia, in the ground of crude. However, their crude is ugly. It is sticky. It's messy. It's very expensive to refine. So they dilute it with Texas intermediate crude, sweet crude, to make it easier to refine. This is part of an overall strategy, I believe, that the Trump administration is doing to make America, again, the largest exporter of oil in the world and natural gas, and totally independent of any foreign oil to manage our economy. When you take those tankers, and I don't know that we can take them all out, but you can certainly, if you start taking them, you can make the captains on those other tankers very, very nervous. So you've got a situation where Trump is trying to do is stabilize the oil markets in favor of the United States. Embargo against Russia. China desperately needs oil, and now we have a problem in Iran, water shortages because of droughts, and we're embargoing that oil. So he's basically shrinking the world supply in favor of us being in a position to supply the world. So this is a multifaceted strategy built around making America the number one exporter of crude oil and natural gas in the world and energy independent, and to take out the 1,000 ships that are disrupting the oil markets on the black market around the world.
So with the embargo completely around the country, no ships to leave, and those ships can't get out and whatever they have on board.
Right.
Pretty much drying up Venezuela's economy like within hours.
Yeah. It's like when we talk about Russia is a gas station with nuclear weapons. Well, Venezuela doesn't have the nuclear weapons, but it's a gas station, and it's the principal source of revenue for the country. And you take away their ability in the black market or the open market to sell crude oil and generate revenue for the government, it's in serious, serious trouble. And the people will overthrow the government.
Okay, let me take a quick break. Got some more questions. Dan Perkins is back with us. Check out his website, danperkins.guru. There's a picture of the landing page. He also has an amazing outreach to veterans called Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us, and support them there because he's got a high positive record of helping veterans through some very difficult times, PTSD and everything else. Check it out. We'll be right back.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? When you want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life, call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Okay, welcome back. Always an honor to have with us Dan Perkins, and he is political commentator. He is also the host of What's on My Mind podcast, the author of historic romance novels entitled Sad Eyes, and you get those online. But Dan, I want to come back to Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us. You've been involved in this for a long time. It's a unique service that you provide. Tell our listeners what it is.
Yeah, it is, and thank you so much, because I have something that really we're hopefully optimistic we're going to be able to do. My wife and I started this 12 years ago, and under the inspiration from the Lord. And what we do is we work with veterans organizations. It could be the VA, it could be veterans, the American Legion, Veteran Foreign War, whatever they are. And we work with them all over the country, providing an MP3 player that we give to the soldiers for free, veterans, and it has a custom designed 8-hour sleep audio on it, a couple of novels that they can listen to, and some old time radio shows and other music. And then there's a website backing it up, songs and stories for soldiers.us, which has 3 million songs, over 100,000 audiobooks, 2 additional 8-hour sleep audio, and almost every radio show from 1939 to 1960. But we're talking with a group about helping them deal with PTSD. Our organization deals with traumatic brain injury, PTSD, sleep deprivation, and suicide. I'm sure you've seen the stories and reported them on yourself of the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. And I met a gentleman over the weekend, a Catholic priest who has a outreach group here in the United States that is bringing missionaries from Nigeria back to the United States for R&R and dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm going to give a horrible example. One priest there, been there 7 years, does three funerals, mostly of children, 7 days a week. And the emotional drain on these men and women to serve people in the harsh conditions and the loss of life affects them, soldier in combat. So we're going to try and see if we can find a way that we can supply to the mission some of our players to help the ministers, the priests and nuns, others, and civilians working in the apartheid that's taking place in Nigeria against Christians by the Muslims to try to help heal the souls and the minds of these people. So I wanted to get that out because if we could pull this off, I do want to talk to you about that in more detail. It's something that we've recognized it's been going on for some time, and now we want to see if we can help.
What's one MP3 play?
$10.
Okay. So let me just say to our viewers and listeners, wherever you're watching and viewing, stories for soldiers.us, there's a picture of that landing page. Feel led of the Lord, send them $10.
Yeah.
And that 10 becomes 30. I mean, it just multiplies in their hands. But given what he just
we
said,
don't charge. I'm sorry for interrupting. I apologize. I'm just very passionate about this.
Yeah.
It costs $10. We do not charge the organization or the veterans anything for it. In the 12 years we've had this organization, we're in 238 facilities in the country, and we've given away over 28,000 players free of charge to veterans all over the country.
All right. Song Stories for Soldiers.us.
US.
Yeah, check it out, help them out. Dan, I want to switch your attention to, just quickly, Iran raising its ugly head again, doing a missile exercise. Some say this is a warning of an attack on Israel. So obviously they may have been temporarily denuked, but they have been de-missiles. How serious is this?
Well, I really believe that the Iranian leadership is under tremendous pressure. We talked about earlier in the show. They've got a water, and the people, they're running out of water to supply drinking water to their population. It's getting harder and harder. I think that the idea that when countries are in trouble, one of the ways that they're concerned, the leadership is concerned about the support of the people, to get them on your side is to start a war. I think that what the Iranian government realizes, they got serious problems, and they know what the nuclear situation. Perry, if you're your enemy, you keep your mouth shut. You talk to them after you've attacked, but they're talking about they're trying to bluster and threaten. But we already know what a bomb can do to nuclear facilities. We don't need these big bombers after the Air Force, but and their missile command. We can attack that on our own. They can infiltrate and go in and blow them up. It was an informed decision to open your mouth and say, we're going to escalate our non-nuclear missiles and we're going to attack. Let the world know we're going to attack Israel, because we hope that would be a distraction. It won't be a distraction, and as a result, they're going to get pounded again.
On the other hand, isn't there a pattern where these radical Islamists basically do mention what they're going to do before they do it?
In some cases, yes, but in the terror attacks that we're seeing in the United States, by and large, those lone wolves, which are not, I don't believe are alone. I think they're part of a broader network of people, maybe one or two people involved. But I believe that they keep their mouth shut, and unless somebody accidentally says something that they can hear on their network. But typically they tend to do something, don't initially take any responsibility, wait to see what their public reaction is, and then sometimes will take responsibility after the fact. They're more after the fact people than before the fact people.
So I guess what I'm hearing you say is that another strike on Iran could be inevitable.
If they're going to continue to outwardly proclaim that they want to bomb with non-nuclear weapons, Iran wants to bomb Israel, they're asking for it, and they can't bluff. They can't bluff the Israelis. It ain't going to happen. So it's almost as if they have a suicide pact, because they know if they launch, there's going to be a counterattack, and a vicious counterattack between the United States and Israel that will make it difficult. And I think that if they start to try to do this again, the Israelis have the ability to target where these people are, the leaders. This time, they'll go after the leaders.
Okay, we're going to run out of time. A lot back and forth, but they seem to be making progress on Ukraine and Russia, but nothing has manifested itself. Do you think either side really wants this war to end?
That's a hard question. Say, if there are three parties to this agreement, the United States, Russia, and Ukraine, I absolutely know the United States wants this to end. Clearly, Donald Trump does not want to continue to see thousands of people killed every week. It's not in his psyche. He is extremely upset that that's continuing. But as remember when we talked earlier about the ships that are the 1,000 ships, one of the places they're getting oil, Russia. And so if you start taking those ships out of service, Russia doesn't have, it's got all of the sanctions system. If they can't generate revenue on the black market, Putin's in serious trouble. And I think that he's beginning to see that. And when he sees Trump going after these Venezuelan tankers, as I said earlier, it's not just Venezuela. He's trying to influence the entire market, including what's going on in Russia. And as a result, I think he can continue his, but I think the practical reality is that he realizes that he's in serious trouble and he's got to do something relatively quickly, because the attack on these phantom tankers will have a real adverse impact on him and his economy.
Whoa. Okay. Do you think, last question on this, do you think Ukraine will be forced to give up land?
I think in order, if they can get the right terms as far as protections from and NATO and the United States, I think they will be willing to give up some land, but not everything that they've occupied by the Russians. I think there will be a concession of some land, yes.
Okay, from what I'm hearing, that is the case if they were allowed to be in NATO, and that would be a complete no from Russia.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You know.
But again, I hate to keep coming back to oil because it's so important, and we just don't understand. A lot of us in America don't understand the importance of oil as a strategic weapon globally. I just don't see that if we can somehow craft an agreement that's enforceable, that the remaining part of Ukraine is protected. And I think rather than do this is going to be controversial, so I'll apologize. I think rather than NATO, give Ukraine the nuclear missiles that they gave up under Obama for pillows and sheets, and let them have a nuclear arsenal, small maybe, that can use to protect their country.
Interesting. Good to see you, friend. As always, Merry Christmas. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, go to storiesforsoldiers.us if you feel led to help others, especially with those suffering from PTSD from all the work that's going on with people trying to save lives in Africa, just to mention a few, not to mention all the veterans that he's helping on an annual basis as well. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us. Blessings on you. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas to you, and a Happy New Year. Take care. Bye.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Have a blessed Christmas.
Life is complicated enough. Why worry about what to do with your extra car? Skip the costs of maintaining it, storing it, insuring it, or renewing registration. Car repairs? Forget about it. Here's one easy solution to your car problem. Donate it to our station. It's fast, free, tax deductible, and if you donate, you're going to feel incredible knowing you're supporting quality programming. Interested? Just call this toll-free number or donate online. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, and our special guest today is very special. I'm honored to have with us LaFawn Jantz, is the co-founder of the Center, A Place of Hope, with her late husband, Dr. Greg Jantz, who we have interviewed quite often on this program. She's involved with several philanthropic organizations. She has worked as the Region 3 Field Encounter for King and Country with Moms in Prayer International, a group that brings mothers together to pray for safety, health, and well-being of their children. Her website is aplaceofhope.com, and there's a picture of the landing page of that, aplaceofhope.com. LaFawn, good to see you. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Well, my deepest condolences. I so enjoyed your husband on many occasions through the years. We've interviewed him, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you. We all miss him very much.
So, what is the Center, a Place of Hope? What is this?
So we were founded over 40 years ago. My husband and I had come together through our college experience here in Seattle, and his degree was in psychology, my degree was in business, and we both agreed that all these mental health issues that we saw on campus and experienced ourselves had to be more than just mental. We thought there's got to be more to it. So that's when we began to craft and form the concept of whole person healing. So the Center, A Place of Hope, is a place where folks can come from all around the country, internationally, and they have over the last 40 years to work with our team of experts trained by my husband. And now they are training all the new staff as we continue to grow, even in his absence. And we've just got an incredible team of professionals that wrap themselves around those who are suffering with depression, anxiety, eating disorders, addictions, post-trauma, all kinds of issues. And we just are a place where all that can be unloaded and dealt with in a wonderful, safe environment with professionals that know what to do with it.
I have to say that, again, you are another example of something I often say here on the air, and that is whatever God saves you from or brings you through, He usually turns around and makes you a minister too.
That's so true.
And the first chapter of your book is titled Moving from Hurting to Healing, which is the tragedy in your own life. Do you mind telling us about it?
So true. Just a terrible tragedy. My husband died instantly in a tragic automobile accident at our home. Myself, 2 adult sons and daughter-in-law, we were there. Thankfully, we could see that he did not suffer at all. So that was a comfort to us. And our lives changed instantly in that moment, and we knew it. And we just have wrapped ourselves around each other. We committed right from the beginning that we would share, everything together and not hold anything back. And 6 months later, that's exactly what we've been able to do together. And it's definitely been a difficult and painful experience. And yet at the same time, we've just seen God working on our behalf every single day. And He's helping us indeed. And I'm sure it's because of the prayers and support of so many wonderful people around the world, really.
When you talk about healing in a situation like this, is it healing from the trauma, healing from the loss? What is the healing you're talking about?
Well, it's, again, I think we approach it from the whole person. There's healing certainly from the experience of that moment and the moments following. There's the physiological experience of dealing with grief and the darkness that everyone experiences, all the stages of grief. And there's physiology involved. Really what we decided and what I decided was that we don't want to leave any stone unturned. Unresolved grief can lead to problems in the future. And I did not want this to hold my young adult sons and daughter-in-law back in any way. So we've engaged in therapy ourselves to make sure that we're talking about it, that we're not brushing any of these things under the rug and allowing it to cause future trouble for ourselves. So it's been a wonderful experience going through this with family in terms of just, dealing with the issues and not being alone in it. And so spiritually as well, learning to dig deeper in our faith and knowing and truly believing that God is going to bring us through it, and then actually seeing him do it. It has been, I would say, incredible and awesome. And I certainly wouldn't wish this on anyone. I didn't ask for it. I never would have wanted it to go this way. And yet it's the truth of our situation and the reality. And we know Greg's not sad. Dr. Greg is not sad. And so even though we're sad to lose him, we're the ones, who got left behind to carry on his mission. And he would want us to do that. So
how would you describe healing for yourself today?
So I would describe healing for myself today, truly a foundation of faith. And I understand the requirement of hope, because without hope, you just wouldn't go on. And trust, a lot of trust that the future is going to turn out well, because God is faithful. He has never let us down. He promises to never leave us or forsake us. And he has delivered on that promise in my entire life at 62. And he's not going to fail me now. So trust and hope and faith.
You talk about living in the past and how dangerous that is,
Yes.
not only for your well-being and your growth, but physically as well. And yet, living through a trauma like you have lived through, and others with unbelievable trauma, it's hard to let go of the past. How do we do this, Coach?
Well, my husband would say we walk it out, LaFawn. And it's the same way for forgiveness, because we can't hold on to all that junk, that stuff that, makes you feel bad about yourself or triggers anger or resentment or fear or insecurity. We have to make a decision, a full-on decision. And one of his latest book, Make Peace with Your Past, Living a Life Without Regrets, shares how and why. He talks about why we can't be dwelling on the past. We agree with the Mayo Clinic, who says that if you hold on to past resentments, creates chronic stress, can lead to heart failure, lower immune response, blood pressure issues, depression, heart disease, the list goes on of all the physical issues that can take place. And perhaps this is why when there's a trauma, so many people end up getting into a more serious disease state in.
Uh-oh. Okay, we got a frozen path there. Okay, let me say this. She has a website. It's called aplaceofhope.com. Sorry about that. And there's a picture of that landing page, A Place of Hope. LaFawn Jantz, I don't know if you remember us interviewing her husband on many occasions, Dr. Greg Jantz. What an amazing, positive person he was, and taken from us early from a car accident tragedy. But in the meantime, she's now opened up this center, and I think you'll find it to be very, very resourceful. You can go to aplaceofhope.com. Okay, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements at the Dove. There's still more work ahead. Would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to renew tower leases and a broadcast expansion to reach new viewers? Thank you from the Dove.
Faith isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be worn boldly and shared daily. At wearyourjesus.com, every piece is more than clothing. It's a conversation starter, and every purchase has purpose. 100% of profits support IM 320, helping people find hope and emotional health through God's Word. Visit wearyourjesus.com today and be bold in your faith. For a limited time, use the discount code below at checkout to save big. That's wearyourjesus.com. Wear it, live it, share it.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Okay, welcome back. Sorry about our little technical problem there. And I did want to finish with our special guest today, LaVon Jantsch, is the co-founder or the Center, A Place of Hope. And that's also the website, aplaceofhope.com. And sharing with us all the things that she's experienced over the last several months with the loss of her husband, Dr. Greg Jantsch, which we so enjoyed having on the air. So many. I will have to say this, you have his smile.
Oh, we definitely enjoyed life together.
Well, it was
43 great years with him.
Oh, wow. Let me ask you this. Have you learned anything about yourself through this experience that you didn't know?
Well, I think I already knew, how fragile I am. And yet, through being weak, God is strong. And so, I guess I didn't know how really strong I am in the Lord. He's thrown me, into the big wide ocean and said, find the shore. And He was there the whole way. And that's kind of how this experience feels to me. I'm doing things that I would never have chosen to do, but I'm actually enjoying being able to do that for my husband. And I get to talk about him. So it makes me very happy.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a surprise to me that I can actually do these things.
Why do we make the mistake of trying to speed up recovery?
Because we don't want to go through the pain of it. It sounds like work. And yet the work is the suffering, Recovery is, even though it's painful in the moment, my husband would say it's painfully positive. You're going to get something good from doing the real work of recovery. And you can't cheat. There's no magic wand. The more you try to avoid it, the more it affects your life in ways that you may not even understand. But you can begin to see patterns in relationships, patterns in feelings and emotions, and in ways of being. And you're either going to see negative patterns of avoidance and just not having motivation, or you're going to start to see some positive patterns where you're starting to see some success, and it's moving you forward, and you're discovering your purpose in life as a result of being willing to face your fears, deal with those traumas, and no longer allow that to dictate your future. And so we wanted, my husband was all about setting you free. He wanted to see the captives be set free. And he began to learn early on in his practice that a lot of it had to do with letting go of our past and not allowing shame to drag us down, but rather to begin to look at what happened and how to learn from it and revise those experiences so they aren't so negative in our minds, whether it's something we did or something that happened to us.
One other quick question, and I'll have to let you go, but your book ends with, you can't live in the past and you can't rewrite events from your history. But it seems to be one of the greatest struggles. I'm not a professional counselor, but I get involved in a lot of sessions.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is that letting go is really hard.
It is. It is. It is because it's a decision and you really have to make a commitment to it. Letting go means you're willing to forgive. And it's contrary to our nature. We have a strong sense of justice. And the book, Make Peace with Your Past, talks about this and walks us through how to do that. We can make a decision to forgive, but forgiveness doesn't come naturally. It has to be learned and walked out. And that's why it's so hard to do, because you've got to stick to it. There's going to be a lot of decisions along the way and things that you're going to learn. And that's why it's good to find someone that you can talk it out with and not hide, but, certainly bring it to the Lord in prayer. He's a safe place, and he knows everything already. So he's not surprised by how you feel or the situation. And if you can find a believer, a confidant that you can go to have conversations with, sometimes that brings clarity. It helps you get another perspective that you might not otherwise see. It's in isolation that we stay sick.
I got less than a minute and a big question. I apologize for squeezing you down, but how did you handle the anger part of PTSD?
I have turned it over to God. It's his providence and something I can't control. And he's in charge of my destiny. And he says that he has made each day brand new for me and for you. And he says, this is the day I have made. And I say, according to the Psalm, I will rejoice and be glad in it. So I make a choice every single day that I'm going to thank God for that new day that he made and that he wants me to be happy. He wants you to be happy. He doesn't want us to be held down, sick, sad, and sorry. He doesn't want us to be stuck. He wants us to have liberty and freedom. And that comes in knowing Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior and putting it all on him. This is his job. This is his job to lead us through this and to turn things around for us. And that's exactly what we're seeing him do.
Thank you. Thank you for your transparency. Our thoughts and prayers with you. I so enjoyed interviewing your husband. He was such a positive guy. And
he was and is.
So
I'm sure he's not sad.
Let me say to our viewers and listeners, aplaceofhope.com. That's where you can check out LaVon's work there. The center, aplaceofhope.com. You can check it out there. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to you and yours. And let's stay connected, okay?
Thank you. Very kind. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Okay. Thank you. All right. Check it out again at aplaceofhope.com. Just wanted to kind of end today's program to give you a little bit of an update of our year-end appeal. And I want to say to so many of you that have responding, thank you so very, very much. As of Friday, so I don't know where it is up today, but as of Friday, we are about 45% of our goal. And so we're asking the Lord, being faithful with this. We have a big goal in order to renew, I should say, a lot of our tower sites and to rebuild, actually, I say rebuild, add to some equipment that we have here to put on a full power television station. Anyway, our goal is 223,000. That's pretty aggressive, but believe me, all of that goes to operations and what's going on here, and especially renewing so many tower leases that we have at the end of the year. This year, I think, was 14 we have to renew. So part of that is all of that. All of those leases come new every year. I say what happens is we have some that are renewed 3 years, some are renewed in 5 years. So of the many that we have, 14 of them came up this year. And I've been reading a lot of legal contracts lately and rewriting them. And like anything else, those rates go up and power bills go up. And so whatever the Lord leads you to do to help us, please do that. And you call us anytime at 541-776-5368 or safely and securely online at theDove.us. And let me say this, folks, and I've been kind of mentioning it today several times because I think so often we get tied up with all the negativity in the culture and in the world and with the news. Sometimes it's really heavy, and rightfully so. Things just kind of crazy. But we are living in a time that's very, very biblical, no question about it. And I will say this, that the hunger for people are looking for truth, they're looking for solidarity. And media is being used to reach a lot of people that we probably will never hear from. Or a lot of people that finally they'll send us a note or call us or send us an email that they happen to tune in when, and the content of that program answered some very difficult questions. In spite of all the negativity in the world and the anxiety, there is something really spiritual that's happening. There's no question about it. There is a underground revival going on, I think, around the world, especially among young people in America. And it is to be really celebrated because it's happening. It really is happening. You will never see this in the news, and don't expect to see it in the news. In Europe, with all of their problems, our connection in Europe, there's great churches that are just booming. And God is using our affiliate over there, UCB UK, with their radio network, and they're streaming over there. A lot of people tuning in and renewing their faith or getting questions answered, and they're coming to the Lord. Well, the same thing here in America. We're not the biggest network out there. We don't intend to be, but we want to be impacting. And so we're trying our best to reach as many people as we can and to be there 24/7 with the good news of Christ, and especially the good news of Christmas and what it's all about. So God uses us to use radio to be in your ears, television to be in your eyes, the word for you today, devotional, this little devotional right here, to be in your hands with the Word of God. And this is literally going around the world. So when you support the Dove, you're partnering with us to make all of that happen. And so pray about what the Lord would have you to do to help us to meet this goal between now and the end of the year. Let me just say this, and I say it often, sometimes it sounds like a broken record, but it's not, it's true. Don't take from your church. You should be involved in a church. You should, the Scripture's pretty clear, forsake not the gathering of yourselves together. Find a good church. There's no perfect church out there, especially if you walk through the door, it won't be perfect. The point being is, find a good church, get involved, support that church. And if you're involved in a ministry that's ministering to people outside of the church, support that wholeheartedly with your finances and with your efforts and your time. So we're not here to replace any of that. We're here to support that. Part of our mission is to help churches. A part of our mission is to help outside ministries so that they get greater exposure to what God's called them to do. So make sure you don't take from those organizations. But if you feel led to help us, call us at 541-776-5368 or safely and securely online at theDove.us. We don't share any of that information with anybody. We protect it. And I just want to say in advance, thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the little notes. You know, in today's world where everything's electronic, and we do get a lot of emails, but I'm amazed how many people are still use the mail to send us a little note, to write a little letter. So folks, when they send in their support, they write a little note on there. And it really is encouraging. And then they also tell us what their favorite program is. And that really does help us when we plan for the future. So thank you for whatever the Lord leads you to do. And thank you for partnering with us. We don't take any of that for granted. We consider it literally a partnership to do what God's called us to do. So pray about it. Give us a call at 541-776-5368 or online at theDove.us, and only do what the Lord leads you to do. Thank you so very, very much. We'll see you next time.
Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate